Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, we're looking at the gold market here for today. You can see January 22nd. This is a 2-minute chart because that's when I look for the cycles. You can see the bottom came in here. We had a beautiful ABCD here, a beautiful ABCD right there. This 382 happened to be one from way back here somewhere. Right there, that was at 382, and now you're going higher and higher. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I got a phone call from one of my old customers. Well, he's still old, but he's still been a customer forever. And he said, I need to make $1,000 today. And I said, what? I want to sell some gold. I said, Bob, I said, why don't you do something that's really easy? And I said, he said, what's that? I said, buy silver. So let me show you what we were looking at when he called this morning. We were just looking at the gold market there for a second, but we'll move this over and switch over to silver. We'll see the same time frame. Here was silver. You see how clear that was? There's what it was around 8 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock California time. There it was right there. Let's make a perfect ABCD right at the 382. 92.70. Okay, it went from 92.70 to 96.70. That's $4. It used to be, well, four times. There used to be $20,000 move. He took the small size. It would have been an $800 move, which would have been pretty close to 1,000 when he's only risking anything at that point. But there was a perfect ABCD right at the 382. So that's what you have to do. Folks, everything that we look at on all these things are AB equals CD. There's no question about it in my mind. Now, we are so close on the gold to, we're only, whatever, $80 away from $5,000 gold. Now, that'll be really interesting. It probably won't mean anything at all, but everybody's been talking about it for years. I can remember back in 2011 in Hong Kong, they were talking about $5,000 gold when gold was at 1932. Well, gold went from 1932 all the way down to $1,000 an ounce over the next 4 years. And then, of course, now it's heading towards $5,000. So that's what we're paying attention to today in the gold and the silver. It's much easier to try to pick a place to buy it than to try to pick a top. I had some topping information here for us. If you remember going back on the long-term daily, it came in at, that's the wrong one. I had to do 4 hour because that doesn't give it the pattern. I was looking at 95.14, and here we are at 96.65. So it's held there for a little bit. But then it backed all the way off here to $90, and now we're continuing to go higher. What does that mean? It means we got another ABCD here. We're only $4 away from $100 an ounce silver, and maybe that's going to mean an opening of the gates, and it's going to go to 150. I don't know. Anytime we can have someone come on the tube and make the markets move billions of dollars in a matter of seconds, you have to pay attention to that, because we've never had a president that came on and talked about the stock market, except one time in 2081, after Reagan had got elected in November of 1980. He said, we're going to turn the bull loose. He said that in January of 81. Well, from January of 81, the markets went straight down until August the 9th of 82. It dropped to 35%. I remember the bottom was August 9th of 82. And that's when the bull market started. Henry Kaufman came out of Solomon Brothers, and he said, bonds and stocks start going up now. And boy, they did. And away they went to the upside. So I remember that quite easily. It's funny because people are talking like that, and he's been a real estate guy. He knows how to negotiate. He uses these tariffs as little hammers, wedges that he has. They're like little. Well, I don't know what the word to use, but Well, it's none of my business anyway. Okay, let's get on here and talk to some other stuff. Anyway, I don't really follow the politics too much. Now, the three questions that people have asked me all the time is, why is this thing not going to work this year? And also, what did I do to come up with all of these ideas? I sent out the special report. Unfortunately, it was banned by, I found out through other sources that it was banned by Google. I don't know why. All I did was I did some AI testing for my first time ever with Copilot to check to see these dates. I said, when was the last time all 10 investment banks were bullish for the next year? And the only time that happened was in September of 1929. I asked other questions. I said, what was happening in the world on these different dates to see if there were any comparison. I did all that. And for some reason, they said it was not acceptable. And so I didn't bother to send it out anymore. I kept all the information because I think I'm right, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be right. It just means that's what I'm looking at. But in order of, well, you know what I'll do? Hold on just a second. I'll get up here a second. I think I can do this possibly. Yeah, this is my thing here, what I want to look at. Okay, hopefully this will work. Let's just see. Here's my main reason why I think the stock market is making the high of all-time highs. This is the last 10 years, folks, in the stock market. Okay, this is the New York Stock Exchange Monthly Index. There's the big one here. This is COVID. There's your 2020 measures right up here to 22,000 and change. Okay, here's this next ABC, measures 22,000 and change. And then you've got this small one right here. Remember, this is monthly. So this is taking, half a year to get to that level right here. We'll look at that one next, so you'll blow it. I'll blow it up, and you can see it a little better. But there it is, right there, 22,724. Folks, we closed yesterday at 22,600 in the New York Stock Exchange Index. So if this thing gets to 23 or 24, let's say $24,000, I'll have to say, boy, I certainly did something wrong. But until that happens, I'm not sure I'm wrong yet. Now, remember the high in the S&P on the futures was 70.38, I believe. If we get above that, that would be the first. Well, the first sign, we've already done it in the Russell. The Russell has taken it out by a long shot, and that means that the first group. But the Russell is such a small index. Let's rephrase that, Larry. It's the second largest of the stock exchange indices. The number one is S&P, number two is Russell, number three is NASDAQ, number four is the Dow Jones. So that really does mean something, folks. That's why I'm watching it closely, because it does mean a great deal. Now, on another note, I said in the newsletter this past week that the most bearish pattern of everything we were looking at was this in the Bitcoin. I have never traded it, but there was your ABCD right there at the exact 382. That was at 96,000, okay? 96,000. Well, let's just move over here this morning here, and we'll pull up Bitcoin, and we'll see where it is right now. And there it is. Here it is. This is a daily. You can see it hasn't even rallied at all. Two tiny little days here, which is really no. There was your 382 down $10,000, and it hasn't bounced at all. The low was at low was at 87. It's trading at 89. Let's quickly look at this on an hourly basis to see that it hasn't rallied too much at all, and we'll see it right there. Yeah, look at this. There was this had done nothing. This is a very, very low bounce, in my opinion, so we'll see. Okay, I think we take a little break now. We'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Hey, folks, I've been asked to comment about natural gas because we had a $25,000 move in the futures contract. And for February, yesterday, you can see here we had this monster move. You can see here, this is daily. There's where we were a week ago, Friday on the 16th. That's when we had our live trading day. We were trying to buy this right here. We missed it. And, of course, the next day it gapped up. I missed it by about $1. We were trying to buy it at about I think 298 or 297, something like that. The low was 300, and then the way it went to the upside, that was a little 3 drive to a bottom pattern, and of course it went up without any trouble. Now all I want to show you now, folks, I do simple things that work relatively good. Do they work all the time? Nothing works all the time. There's our low back here in August. There's your August low, okay? Then you go all the way up to your high right here. Then you come down to your low, your high right there. It tells us that it should be topping somewhere around this level. Let's see what that level happens to be. 581. The high today has been 565. That's pretty close. You can see we've come down quite a bit. Now, if we look at this on the shorter term basis, we'll just go down to an 8-minute. You'll see here we've had some big moves here. It traded really well, folks. Actually, you can see after here was the low on the 16th. You can see that right back there. Okay, then we had the pullbacks right in here. This is what we're looking. This was yesterday action right here. Now look at this, folks. Now this thing traded. Look at this. This thing traded all the way. I mean, had chance. There were buyers and sellers all the way. There's no gaps here. This is an 8-minute chart. Everybody was, they had their chance to get into whatever they wanted to do. And all I was doing, I didn't even look at this until I heard on the news it was up 20,000. I just went back to see if I could find any 382s. I could find very few. Here was one right here. Well, just looking at it right now, let's just measure to see if we're correct. There's our first really good correction off of our low right back here. So if that's correct, that should be a 382. that from there to there should be a 382. Because you see that ABCD correction? That's a correction. So you got to take that as your point. You don't have to, but it's a good idea. And you come up to the next one, and there's your 382 comes in right here. Look what happens when the 382 breaks, folks. See what happens when the 382 breaks? It tells you the trend has started to come down. And now how much do I know? I don't know. But remember, this is the February contract, which is only 56,000 open interest, all right? Now, what's happened is you've got March and all these others that are trading backwardation. These are trading much lower. We got February here is at 50,000. They got someone trapped. This was life or death from what someone told me that understands natural gas, that they had to have natural gas shipped to certain places because there was just nothing available to keep people alive. That's, hey, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But let's look at try to explain to you what I mean by backwardation. If we go back to this natural gas here, and we'll get up the March contract, and you'll see that it's totally different than the other. Here's the March natural gas is right there. So hopefully we'll be having data on this. Put this hourly up and see if it's got data. It had it earlier. I don't know what happened to it. Let me try to refresh this, and maybe we'll have it today. Possibly not. It disappears on me. Well, you got a little bit of data. You see it's trading way back here. Well, there we go. We got some data. Let's see if we can refresh maximum and get something here to go. There we go. Now you can see the natural gas for the March is totally different. You just move over. You see it's had a huge move, but nothing like we had. See that? See the totally difference in the move here? We didn't even take out the highs of May from the March. Look, that's where the March was. You can see the difference between the two. That's because they had somebody trapped. Do you remember we were trading? Wow, this says it's 350 now? Get out of here. You're kidding me. Refresh. Oh, you know what this is? Something's happened that I missed data here or something. I don't know what the problem is. So I better shut up and not worry about it. All I know is this major backwardation. You can see the next option is trading at 3.4, and the regular natural gas is trading at, basically 5. So that's the difference in backwardation. They need it for this month, not so much for the next month. This will be corrected hopefully by tomorrow, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. I know most of you don't care about natural gas, but it's a great thing for a trading vehicle, and that's pretty much, what we're watching here. Let's move over here and cover a couple other things. Let's get back to the euro, because that's one of our favorite things, the euro and the pound to be trading. I've got to put this out into perspective here. Tile vertical. Okay, now I want to spend just just a few seconds here to talk a little bit about the British pound and also the Japanese yen. And we've already looked at the euro, but let's get up. Next one we're going to look at here will be the British pound. Let me get the British pound up, and you can see here that it's had a pretty good move here this morning. And I guess that's from all of the news from yesterday. Here's when the El Presidente was speaking right in here yesterday, and you can see it held, and now it's bouncing up a little bit. It's still in a bearish format. Looking at this on the daily, it's not really doing very much. Well, it actually took out that previous high. I didn't see that today, so that's another sign that it could be holding, and that's why the euro might be moving up a little bit from that level. That means that the dollar index would be under a little pressure, so we'll take a quick look at that to see if it's broken anything really substantial or not. That's under the D's. There we go. And we'll get the dollar index. And yep, here we're going down. We're getting ready to break some pretty important support here in the dollar index. Here's where we are right now. We're back to that same level, folks. Here's where we were right here. Let's clean this out. Okay, there was our ABCD rally up, just like we had in the euro going down. That was this on the upside. There's your ABCD. That was that, just exactly the opposite of what we were looking at for the euro to do. Okay, there was your ABCD right there. Okay, so if that's the case, the euro had to be making an ABCD to the downside for your buying opportunity. And if you get up here somewhere, I'll have it here, hopefully right here. Get up here, and we'll just look at this on the hourly chart. and you're going to see the same thing, only you'll see the ABCD was right there yesterday and hit it right on the money. You can see that ABCD measured perfectly. I don't think this measured perfectly, but I know that it hit the right price because that's where the order we're standing. And we'll just draw this in so we can see it. Hold on. There's your ABCD leg right there. And there was your price right here, 746, and now it's having a pretty good rally to the upside. So that's what we were watching. Here was a key here on that Sunday night, folks, where we had a big jump here coming off of that big ABCD. That was the one on the daily, if you remember that. That was a really big one. That was right there. And then you went down to that smaller time frame, and that told you there was your key right there on Sunday nights when it pulled back right to the 382, and that was telling you that that's where it looked like it was ready to hold, and it held up extremely well. It's much easier to trade with the trend than against the trend, folks. That's basically the bottom line. ABCDs, when you're trading with the trend, are really good things. ABCD works, but they don't work all the time, folks. You got to realize that. It's just a ballpark figure. And speaking of ballpark figures, we got a break coming here. I want to explain to you about baseball and trading, how much they have in common. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, folks, I'll leave this up here as I talk about baseball here for a second. Folks, baseball is based on numbers, just like trading is. How many strikeouts, how many balls and strikes, and all that stuff. You know, who's and the statistics behind it is there's so many statistics that you can't even imagine, just like there are in the market. So what you look at certain ones. Now, there's always a big argument, who is the greatest baseball player of all time? Well, I have to go with Vin Scully said, and Vin Scully did see Babe Ruth when he was a young man, but long before he was an announcer. But he said, I never saw Babe Ruth play he never saw him play, but he did know who he was. He'd already retired. But he said the greatest baseball player that I ever saw was Willie Mays. Now, Willie Mays only got a hit every third time. His batting average was 300. But the one thing that Mays did was he was a fabulous stealer. You know, he could steal the bases. He won the Golden Glove 12 years out of the 19 years that he played, you know, the best fielder. And he did everything right. I mean, you know, he just never made any mistakes. But when Mays came up to hit, he hit a home run in other words, every time he struck out, he hit hit one home run for every time that he struck out. But there was one player in baseball that every time he struck out, he hit a home run, and that was Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio hit 400 home runs in his career. He struck out like 390 times over a 13-year career. That's really quite amazing. His batting average was only 325. Okay, now you look at Ted Williams. He was the last person to bat 400. You know, Williams hit a home run every time, 1 to 2 strikeouts. But the average now for players playing baseball is for every time they strike out 8 times, they hit a home run. You see the difference has changed? That's because the balls and the ballparks are different, whatever. But all this stuff is based on probability. So when I'm looking at a report, that's what I'm watching. I'm going to spend the next 8 minutes going over why I think I've made a decision on the stock market that is correct. The number one thing is this. The New York Stock Exchange Index on the monthly chart over the last 10 years has completed 3 major ABCD patterns coming in at 22,000 and change, 22,500. It's trading at 22,700 today. Number one. Number two, only one other time in the history of our investing thing over the last 100 years has all 10 investment banks in the United States been bullish on the next year. That happened in September of 1929. Google it yourself. You Copilot, whatever you want to, that'll go back and give you the same information. So you've got that statistic against you. And against that, on the other side, I look at this and I said, how come people don't see what I'm looking at? And I guess I'm wrong. Who knows? But anyway, the third thing is we've got margin debt at 1.4 trillion. Nothing's happened yet because there's no fear in the market. That's a huge deal. Second of all, there's the smallest cash value to buy for investment funds, 3% as opposed to 10%. So it's 3 times worse. There was very little money left to borrow, to buy of their cash value that they have. They bring in more cash, sure, but it only goes up like $100 billion a month or something like that. So those are the 3 of the main things. There's so many others that are there. The divergence of the stock indexes versus the AI program, folks. Every single day, you cannot be on the TV and not be spoon-fed about AI and how important it is. But why are the AI stocks, they look so bad? There's only a couple of them that look good. Google looks pretty good. Even Taiwan Semiconductor. Look at Taiwan Semiconductor. Now, that had tremendous backing by Goldman Sachs. You remember here just a few weeks ago. Well, yeah, just about a week or so ago. Let's get it up here. Starts with a T, I think. It used to anyway. Here it is right there. Okay, now I want to get the daily up on this. Here's Taiwan Semiconductor. And here's when Goldman Sachs came out with their buy right there. There it was. Let's get this out of the way right here. Their buy came in right there, okay? Now, the volume on that day, folks, was 4 times normal. Look at when it was 4 times on the downside. It was 4 times normal. Here we got on the upside. Somebody was selling it. It's down from the high. It left a little bit of a group up here, but on that day, here's where Goldman Sachs, they knew the answer here. They came out with a report right there, and you can see what happened. So, take it for what you want. But anyway, and you look at all of them, folks. Look at Avco and look at Microsoft. And here's another one that's really surprising. Just look at Microsoft. What a great company it is. This is the best investment ever in stocks. Buying it back in 1986, it'd be $146,000 a share. We're up today, but look, we've been in a downtrend ever since November. So it's in a buy mood. Also, we got to watch Apple, folks. I keep talking about Apple at $42, $242. Let's get it up here because I think that maybe that makes market go higher, and it certainly could. But we got a bunch of ABCDs down here. It's up today. It's at 250 today, but we've got ABCDs at 242. So watch that if we get to that level there in what is that in there for? Okay, get that. Anyway, 242 in Apple. Now let's go back to number one, $4 trillion stock, which is NVIDIA. And I just want you to make your own. You know how much stuff is coming on this stuff. News. I mean, there's never anything negative. I mean, that's impossible. Okay, and here is NVIDIA. Now, if you tell me this stock made a high way back in September. Okay, actually November 2nd was the high. Here was the real big days when they had that huge amount of, they said it was going to go to 300 and it hasn't done that yet. But anyway, this is in a downtrend, folks. We got lower tops and lower bottoms, and it is in a downtrend given all that bullish news. And you go through all 10 of the stocks in the AI group, there's only one that's really bullish. Well, I have to consider there's two out of 10, Taiwan Semiconductor and Google. And Google is still bullish. And that's, but again, I'm just looking at chart patterns. I don't know all the other stuff that these other folks are looking at. Let me check to see how we're doing with time. We got 1 minute and 28 seconds. That's 2 lifetimes. Let's get over here and take a look at the Japanese yen, because another one that really need to watch, because interest rates in Japan have started to go higher, much to the surprise of everybody else. And you can see here we had a little bit of a move here, and then we had a little bit of a pullback. This is it today. Now, you can see here we stopped at the 382 on this yesterday, and we had a really strong rally last night because the Japanese finance minister came out and said, well, this was an aberration in our bond market. It's really going to be okay. Well, we'll see about that. But anyway, there was the low here was right at the 382 off of the bottom right there. And that was the low. And we had to rally up, stopped right at the 786. There's a big quandary what's going on now in the Japanese yen, whether one side is true or the other side isn't. And I'm not so sure about that. Okay, let's move this out of the way and covered the Russell. We've already done that. Okay, let's move over here and no, I think come right back. We'll be right, folks. Stay with us.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, a couple other reasons about ABCDs that I've been focusing on this report is that we have so many of these from all over the world and just everywhere. There's the London stock market. Other one also, if you look at what Jeff Hughes pointed out, look how the stocks are actually rolling over. There's not as many new stocks making new highs as making new lows. That's a pretty good thing to pay attention to. Also, I've done a lot of these different ones to show you, just give you the Hong Kong market on the weekly. You can see that topped a long time ago. And that almost at the 786, that was way back in October that it topped. If we looked at emerging markets, it's done the same thing. If we look at the DAX, I think we could look at the DAX. Let's just get up here, take a look at the DAX this morning and see how it's doing. We looked at it just the other day, but I'm seeing a lot of these, and I could be wrong. I'm often wrong, but never in doubt, as they say in the trade. So hold on a second. We'll get the DAX here. Is the DAX coming up here? And we'll make sure I got the daily up. And okay, it was up earlier this morning. It's just still up a little bit from where it was. We had broke this level here, but we've completed that big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expanding triangle. That's basically just a 3 drive to a top pattern. Also, it can be called that, but that's also done that. We had the first part of the break here was during the speech. What happened? We had the big run up, so that's moved to the upside. So there's just so many of them in there, and I can't do them all because it would fill up they're just everywhere. You look at the Nikkei, the Hong Kong, London, doesn't make any difference where you go. You see them everywhere, even in China, Chinese market. I think I can do the Chinese market. That doesn't look very good at all. We could bring up here and show you where we are with the Chinese market. There's iShares of the Chinese market. This certainly doesn't look very bullish, even with the, let's refresh this to make sure we get the last bump. Look at that. That didn't even get much of a bump from the president out there. Even that didn't give it too much of a bump. Maybe I'm just trying to grasp at straws, but when I look at all that stuff, I make myself wonder. And then not only the second thing is, most important of all, I can't get anybody to believe it. I mean, I really can't. It's Anyway, that doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is why there's not, with all those smart guys on Wall Street, they know all these numbers. Well, maybe they don't study the history. I don't know, but I would think one would, because all these numbers do is repeat over and over again. That's all they've ever done. Mandelbrot proved that. Andrew Lowe proved that. Gartley proved that. I've tried to prove it. Hadn't done a very good job with you, but that's what I think is happening. So we'll see from that level. Okay, the two questions that asked me, what are the two things that would make my report be wrong? First of all, the sun would have to rise in the west. That's the main thing. Okay, that's the main thing. Sun would have to rise in the west. And the second thing is I would have to turn bullish. Then I would say, yeah, my report's wrong. And my chances of doing that are slim and none. So we'll see what's moving on here. Let's get out of the way. Didn't mean to make fun of it or anything, but that's what we're paying attention to here as we look at these things unfolding here today. Okay, now, all right, here's where we are. All right, just on nickel dime stuff, just for kicks and giggles, we had a little tiny, what we call the micro cell signal here in the Russell. There's your high right here. And then you came down and you've made a 382 retracement. Well, it went to the 50%. There's your 382, because this took more. See, there's the 382. See how long it stayed there? And now we're starting to move down a little bit. This is what we call the mini micro program. Anyway, that's what it looks like. It could be heading down for maybe a correction. We have to get the S&P in real seriousness. If the S&P gets above, the futures gets above 70, 60, then I have to say, yeah, then I've done something wrong. It's not going to work. It's not going to work now, but it's going to work. Because long term, these ABCD patterns, they're not going to let you down long term. They're just not going to do it, folks. That's just, we go back and look at history, what it does, and that's usually what it's telling you, what it's doing right now. But I think the two most important things, the fact that all these guys are on the one side of the market, but the other thing that's important is the fact that all of these AI companies, other than Google and Taiwan Semiconductor, and I'm not so sure that's done because of the way that it gapped up with all that volume, that's not the kind of stuff you want to see. If that was good, it would still be going up and up and up. But there were a lot of people selling that Taiwan Semiconductor after that report came out. Remember, volume was 4 times normal, just like it was back in August when we were making the big last April when it was making that big low. There was 4 times normal volume when everybody wanted to buy it at 108. Now it's at 330 and the whole world wants it. Well, that's neither here nor there, so we'll do one thing or the next. Okay, let's get back on. Someone asked a question about wheat, because wheat has got some cold weather coming in along with everything else. And I think there's a little bottom for me in wheat. I haven't looked at it. I've really not really followed this. Here's March wheat. What we want to be watching now is real cold weather across the Midwest, and that's called, well, you can see how much of a rally we're getting. My gosh, it's not even, that's what you hear this on Bloomberg, and look, it is. It's up a total of 9 cents today. Give me a break. But the only thing you can say is you have 3 higher bottoms in here. There's some support for sure, but there's nothing, none will run away. Now with natural gas, where it moves $24,000 in one day. That was basically 1 or 2 people that are caught heavily short in an area where they had to have the natural gas or people were going to die. I don't know if that was military stuff or whatever, but someone who knows that market said that's what it was. They had to have that gas at any price. And of course, the people that owned it said, okay, if you want it, you got to pay for it. So that's what happened. Tomorrow, it'll probably be a new story and it'll be back down normal. And I'll get that data corrected for the March natural gas as opposed to February, because the difference is just too great in open interest. February open interest, 56,000. March open interest, 350,000, 6 times normal. So you can see the aberration in that. That's where we had that back in April of 2 years ago when crude oil went negative because they had no place to put the oil, if you remember that. Oil got down below minus 6 on the futures board, and I think it got to $11 in the other end areas. Of course, when it got to $11 on the downside, what do you think they did? They raised the margin. They tripled the margin as the market's going down. What a break that was. I mean, you could buy more, but most people weren't looking at it from that way, because you figured gas is not going to be $11 very much. When I got married first time way back in 1964, we took our honeymoon across the west, going through California and Texas and stuff. And we got to El Paso, Texas, and I paid 11 cents a gallon for my little Porsche, and it cost me 90 cents to fill it up. I told the guy, keep the change. I didn't say that, but that's what happened. All right, here's the silver. Someone asked me a question about where I think it's going. I'll just give you, this over the last several days. You can see there was your big 382 retracement here off the other day. We talked about it before. There it was, right to the tick, and we're still going higher. Here was another one here, but this came back a little bit more, but you make a new higher high. So what you have to do is you got to correct this. So you come up and you'll see that there's where you were again. Not there, so we're still going higher. We'll be right back, folks, and I'll give you the price of silver here when we come back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, here's a bird's eye view of the silver, folks. You can see we got 2 targets, one big one at 104, the other one at 100 even. $100 silver would be right there. We're only $3.50 away. Another day like today, and you're right there. So $100 silver means nothing. You can make that real easy. People are talking about $150, $250 silver. Yeah, I've heard that, and maybe it will. I don't know, but that's what it's looking at right now. There's no reason to think that you want to be bearish in here because it looks like it's going higher. You can see you had a down day here, a little tiny down day right there. There was another 382 right there. We pointed that out yesterday. If you go down to the smaller time frame, you should be able to see it without too much trouble. There it is right there. There's today's low. Boom, bang, bang. Look, there's our ABCD measures right here to 96, and we think it can go to even money, which is just $100 a barrel, $100 a coin from where we are right there. There's where we are right there. Hold on a second there. See, that's going to take you to 97. Well, it's going to make 100. I don't see why it won't. But, I'm often wrong, but never in doubt. Okay, that's what we're paying attention to right now as we're looking here through this. Let's see how we're doing here with this Russell to see if it did anything. Well, it's moving down a little bit, not very much. The S&P is moving down a little bit, not very much. But the S&P gets above 70, 60, then I would say, yeah, we're probably getting ready to see a change in economics. A change in economic thought is what John Kenneth Galbraith used to say, is when these markets change, it becomes a change in economic thought. Everybody thought it was going to be bullish, and now everybody thinks it's going to be bearish. So we'll have to take a quick look at that. We just made a new high here on gold here at $4,920 an ounce. And we should do the same thing to see if we got not enough time to do that, but we'll see. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow, folks, and may God bless. We have live trading tomorrow, so call Tommy, TFNN.com. Try to sign up. We'll have a lot of fun.